The term passport brothers has gained significant attention in recent years. It describes a growing group of men, primarily from Western nations like the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. These men make a conscious decision to travel to other countries. Their main goal is often to find romantic relationships or marriage partners. They believe that opportunities for the kinds of connections they seek are better outside their home countries. This movement is not formally organized. Instead, it is a loose collection of individuals sharing similar ideas and experiences, often online. They're seeking something different from what they perceive is available in their domestic dating scenes. These men often express disillusionment with modern dating culture in the West. They feel that societal norms have shifted in ways that disadvantage them or do not align with their values. The passport bro phenomenon is therefore a direct response to these feelings. They are actively using their passports to explore international options for love and companionship. This involves travel to various parts of the world, particularly to countries in Southeast Asia, Latin America, and Eastern Europe. The choice of destination is often influenced by perceptions of cultural values and the perceived receptiveness of local women to the types of relationships these men desire. The core concept revolves around seeking traditional relationship dynamics. Many passport bros believe that women in other cultures may possess or prioritize traits they find desirable, such as femininity, a family-oriented mindset, or a more conventional approach to gender roles. This search is often documented and discussed extensively in online forums, social media groups, and video platforms. These digital spaces serve as hubs for sharing advice, experiences, and encouragement among like-minded individuals. The movement is dynamic, shaped by individual stories and the collective narrative that emerges from these online interactions, creating a subculture with its own lexicon and set of expectations. The phenomenon is complex and multifaceted. It touches upon issues of globalization, cultural exchange, personal choice, and economic disparities, while some view it as a legitimate quest for happiness and compatible partnership. Others raise concerns about potential exploitation and the reinforcement of stereotypes. Understanding the passport brothers movement requires looking at the various factors that drive these men, the destinations they choose, and the broader societal conversations that surround their choices. It is a modern manifestation of how individuals navigate the complexities of love and relationships in an increasingly interconnected world, using global mobility as a tool for personal fulfillment. The Passport Brothers movement did not appear overnight. Its roots can be traced to long-standing trends of international travel for romance, sometimes known as marriage tourism. However, the specific label Passport Bros and its associated online communities gained significant traction in the early 2020s. This period coincided with increased internet connectivity, the rise of specific social media platforms, and growing public discourse about dating challenges in Western societies. The term itself originated informally, spreading through YouTube channels, TikTok videos, Reddit forums, and other online spaces where men began to share their experiences and philosophies. Initially, a noticeable segment of the voices documenting these travel and dating experiences came from African American men. Some of these men reported feeling more accepted, desired, and less subject to racial stereotypes in the dating scenes of certain foreign countries. They contrasted this with their experiences in the United States, where they felt systemic inequalities and cultural biases impacted their romantic lives. Their vlogs and posts often highlighted a sense of liberation and appreciation found abroad. This narrative resonated with a wider audience of men who, for various reasons, felt marginalized or dissatisfied with their dating prospects at home, contributing to the movement's early growth. The rise of remote work and digital nomadism also played a role in fueling the movement's momentum. As more individuals gained the flexibility to work from anywhere in the world, the logistical barriers to exploring international dating options decreased. This newfound freedom allowed some men to not just visit, but to consider relocating or spending extended periods in countries they found more conducive to their lifestyle and relationship goals. The ability to earn a Western income while living in a country with a lower cost of living added an economic incentive to the romantic motivations, making the prospect of moving abroad more attractive and feasible for a larger group. Furthermore, The online communities provided a platform for building a shared identity and a supportive network. Men could exchange practical advice on travel, cultural nuances, and relationship building in specific countries. These platforms also amplified success stories, which in turn encouraged others to consider a similar path. The ease with which information and personal narratives could be shared globally helped to consolidate the movement from disparate individual experiences into a more recognizable, albeit decentralized, trend. This digital ecosystem was crucial in shaping the discourse and expanding the reach of the Passport Brothers ideology, making it a visible and debated topic. A primary motivation for many passport bros is a deep disillusionment with Western dating norms. These men often express frustration with what they perceive as shifting expectations in relationships within their home countries. They might feel that women in the West are overly career-focused, leading to less emphasis on family or traditional partnership structures. Some also voice concerns about perceived entitlement or a lack of appreciation for traditional masculine roles. This dissatisfaction stems from a sense of mismatch between their own desires for a relationship and what they believe is commonly available or valued in their local dating pool, prompting them to look elsewhere for compatibility. The search for traditional values is another significant driver. Many men in the Passport Brothers movement are explicitly seeking partners who embody qualities they associate with traditional femininity. This can include a greater emphasis on family orientation, a nurturing disposition, and a perceived willingness to embrace more conventional gender roles within a relationship. They often believe these values are more prevalent or more genuinely expressed in certain non-Western cultures. This quest is not just for a partner, but for a particular type of relationship dynamic that they feel is increasingly rare or criticized in contemporary Western society, pushing them towards cultures they see as upholding these ideals. Economic and social freedom also contribute significantly to the appeal of going abroad. The rise of remote work opportunities has untethered many from the need to live in high-cost Western cities. For some Passport Brothers, moving to a developing nation allows them to enjoy a higher quality of life on a Western income due to lower living expenses. This economic advantage can translate into more leisure time, less financial stress, and the ability to support a partner or family more comfortably. Beyond economics, some men also seek social environments where they feel their masculinity is more affirmed, or where social interactions feel more straightforward and less fraught with perceived ideological conflicts. Racial dynamics play a crucial role for a segment of Passport Brothers, particularly for men of color, and specifically African American men. Some report experiencing less racial prejudice and fewer negative stereotypes in the dating markets of other countries. They may feel that their race is either a neutral factor or, in some cases, even viewed positively, which contrasts sharply with their experiences of systemic racism or marginalization in their home countries. This search for a space where they feel more seen, valued, and respected as individuals, free from the racial baggage of their home societies, is a powerful motivator for seeking relationships and potentially new lives abroad. Passport Brothers are drawn to a variety of destinations across the globe, with certain regions and countries emerging as particularly popular. Southeast Asia, Latin America, and parts of Eastern Europe are frequently highlighted in their discussions and travelogues. The choice of destination is rarely random. It is often guided by a combination of perceived cultural compatibility, the reputation of local women, economic factors such as cost of living, and the ease of travel or long-term stays. Each region offers a distinct set of attractions, catering to different preferences within the broader movement, making the map of Passport Bro destinations diverse. In Southeast Asia, countries like the Philippines and Thailand are prominent hotspots. The Philippines is often favored for its English-speaking population, which facilitates communication and connection. The strong Christian cultural background and the perception that Filipino women are family-oriented and marriage-minded also contribute to its appeal. Thailand, on the other hand, attracts men with its vibrant culture, renowned hospitality, exotic appeal, and often a more visible nightlife and romance scene. Both countries offer a lower cost of living compared to most Western nations, which is an additional draw for men looking to maximize their financial resources while seeking companionship. Latin American countries such as Colombia and Brazil are also highly sought-after destinations. These nations are often celebrated for their lively cultures, beautiful landscapes, and the perceived passion and physical attractiveness of their women. Men may be drawn to the warmth and expressiveness they find in Latin American cultures, seeking relationships that feel more vibrant and engaging. The Spanish and Portuguese languages can present a barrier, but many are willing to learn or seek partners in urban areas where English proficiency might be higher. The allure of a passionate romance in a culturally rich setting is a strong motivator for choosing these destinations. Eastern Europe, particularly countries like Ukraine and Russia, was historically popular among men seeking women they perceived as embodying traditional European femininity and values. However, geopolitical tensions and conflicts, especially the war in Ukraine starting in 2022, have significantly reduced accessibility and safety in this region for such travelers. This has led to a shift in focus towards other areas, though the underlying desire for partners from cultures perceived as more traditional persists. The changing geopolitical landscape underscores how external factors can influence the flow and preferred locations within the Passport Brothers movement, redirecting attention to other accessible regions. Navigating the storm, criticisms and controversies. The Passport Brothers movement is far from universally accepted. Indeed, it is frequently embroiled in significant criticism and controversy. One of the most serious allegations is that the movement often veils sex tourism. Critics argue that some men, under the guise of seeking genuine love or marriage, are primarily traveling to exploit economic disparities that make women in developing nations more vulnerable. They suggest that these men are less interested in equitable partnerships and more focused on accessing sexual services or relationships, where the power dynamic is heavily skewed in their favor due to their relative wealth and Western privilege, reducing women to commodities. Another prevalent criticism revolves around cultural imperialism and the fetishization of women. Accusations are made that Passport Brothers often objectify women from other cultures, reducing them to simplistic stereotypes rather than seeing them as complex individuals. For example, women from certain regions might be stereotyped as inherently submissive, docile, or hyper-feminine. This perspective, critics contend, ignores the agency and diversity of these women and imposes a Western-centric, often colonialist gaze. Such attitudes can perpetuate harmful stereotypes and create unrealistic expectations that damage genuine cross-cultural understanding and relationships. The movement is also frequently condemned as being rooted in misogynistic views and serving as a form of escapism. Critics argue that instead of addressing personal shortcomings or engaging constructively with evolving gender roles in their own societies, some men choose to blame Western women wholesale, painting them with a broad negative brush. This narrative of Western women being spoiled or undesirable is seen as a way to avoid self-reflection and to seek out environments where perceived male dominance is easier to achieve. This perspective views the movement not as a solution, but as an evasion of deeper societal and personal issues regarding gender relations. Furthermore, concerns about exploitation due to romanticizing poverty and inherent power imbalances are frequently raised. The economic disparity between men from affluent Western nations and women from poorer regions can create relationships where true consent and agency are questionable. Women might enter into these relationships due to economic necessity rather than genuine affection or compatibility, leading to situations that are inherently exploitative. Recent warnings, such as the US Embassy in Bogota, Colombia, highlighting dangers like the use of scopolamine to rob and sometimes kill unsuspecting men, underscore the potential risks involved, particularly when coupled with the pursuit of casual encounters by some weekend warrior types associated with the periphery of the movement. Arguments for the defense perspectives from supporters. Despite the heavy criticism, proponents of the Passport Brothers movement offer several arguments in its defense, emphasizing personal autonomy and the search for happiness. Many supporters contend that their choice to seek partners abroad is a legitimate response to a dating landscape in their home countries that they find unfulfilling or misaligned with their desires. They argue that just as women have preferences and make choices in dating, men too should have the freedom to pursue relationships where they feel valued and compatible, regardless of geographical borders. This is framed as an exercise of personal liberty in the pursuit of a fulfilling life. A core defense is the assertion of their freedom of choice to find compatible partners without facing stigma or unfair judgment. Supporters often state they are not against Western women per se, but are simply seeking specific qualities or relationship dynamics they believe are more readily found in other cultures. They feel it is unfair to be broadly labeled as misogynistic or exploitative merely for having these preferences and acting upon them. For many, the decision to look abroad comes after years of frustrating dating experiences at home, and they see international dating as a proactive step towards finding personal happiness and a stable relationship. Many individuals within the movement share success stories, highlighting happy marriages, stable families, and fulfilling partnerships that have been built with women from other countries. These personal anecdotes serve as powerful counter-narratives to the more negative portrayals. They showcase instances where relationships are based on mutual love, respect, and shared values, leading to lasting commitments. These stories emphasize that not all international relationships are transactional or exploitative, and that genuine connections can and do flourish across cultural and national lines, enriching the lives of both partners involved in these unions. Finally, some argue that these relationships can foster genuine cross-cultural exchange and understanding, benefiting both individuals and, on a smaller scale, societal perceptions. When relationships are built on respect and a willingness to learn from each other's backgrounds, they can lead to a deeper appreciation of different cultures. Partners may learn new languages, embrace new traditions, and develop a more global perspective. This positive aspect of cultural blending is often cited as a benefit that transcends the individual relationship, contributing to a more interconnected and understanding world, challenging simplistic narratives of exploitation by showing mutual growth. Social media, the digital engine of the Passport Brothers trend. Social media platforms have played an undeniably crucial role in the rise and proliferation of the Passport Brothers movement. Platforms such as YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and various online forums have become central hubs for men interested in this lifestyle. These digital spaces allow for the rapid dissemination of information, personal stories, and advice related to international dating and travel. Without the amplifying effect of social media, it is unlikely that the Passport Brothers phenomenon would have achieved its current level of visibility or coherence as a loosely defined group with shared interests and ideologies. Influencers and vloggers have become key figures within this online ecosystem. Many have built entire brands and monetized their experiences by documenting their travels, dating lives, and offering guidance to others considering a similar path. Figures like Austin Abeta, known as Digital Bromad, or dating coaches such as Sam Speaks, provide a steady stream of content that ranges from practical tips on visas and cultural etiquette to philosophical discussions on relationships and masculinity. These influencers often cultivate a dedicated following, shaping the perceptions and expectations of men who are new to or curious about the Passport Brothers lifestyle. However, social media also serves as a primary arena for the debates and criticisms surrounding the movement. While Passport Brothers use these platforms to promote their views and share positive experiences, feminist critics, cultural commentators, and individuals with negative experiences also use the same channels to voice their concerns and counter-narratives. This has led to heated online discussions, viral videos debating the ethics of the movement, and a constant push and pull between supporters and detractors. Social media, therefore, not only fuels the movement, but also hosts the most vigorous opposition and scrutiny it faces. Beyond promotion and debate, these online communities foster a sense of belonging and shared identity among Passport Brothers. For men who may feel alienated or misunderstood in their home environments, these digital spaces can offer validation and camaraderie. They can connect with others who share similar frustrations and aspirations, reinforcing their decision to look abroad for relationships. This creation of an online subculture, complete with its own terminology and in-jokes, is a significant aspect of the movement's resilience and continued appeal, providing a supportive network for its adherents across geographical boundaries. broader sociological and economic undercurrents. The Passport Brothers phenomenon does not exist in a vacuum. It intersects with significant global sociological and economic currents that shape its dynamics and implications. One of the most critical dimensions is its connection to global inequality. The movement often involves men from wealthier, developed nations traveling to less affluent countries. This inherent economic disparity raises complex ethical questions about consent, agency, and power within the resulting relationships. Critics argue that such imbalances can lead to transactional relationships where emotional connection may be secondary to economic security for one partner, complicating notions of genuine choice and mutual affection. From a sociological perspective, some scholars and commentators interpret the Passport Brothers movement as symptomatic of a broader redefinition of masculinity, or even a masculinity in crisis in Western societies. As traditional gender roles evolve and feminist movements challenge established norms, some men may feel displaced or uncertain about their roles. The search for traditional women in other cultures can be seen as an attempt to reclaim or enact a form of masculinity that they perceive as being devalued or unavailable in their home countries. This highlights a tension between modernizing gender dynamics in the West and a desire by some for more conventional relationship structures. The movement is also intrinsically linked to the rise of digital nomad culture and the globalization of lifestyles. The ability to work remotely, coupled with the desire for new experiences and a lower cost of living, has enabled a growing number of individuals to live and work internationally. Passport Brothers often overlap with this digital nomad demographic, combining their pursuit of romantic relationships with a lifestyle of travel and remote employment. This fusion of work, travel, and romance-seeking is a distinctly 21st century phenomenon, facilitated by technological advancements and shifting work paradigms, making the world a more accessible marketplace for both labor and love. These individual choices, when aggregated, reflect larger global shifts and the complex interplay of personal desires with international economic realities. The pursuit of happiness by one group can inadvertently highlight or even exacerbate existing inequalities and cultural sensitivity. Understanding the Passport Bros movement requires acknowledging these broader contexts, from the impact of globalization on local cultures to the evolving nature of work and relationships in an interconnected world. It is a phenomenon that sits at the crossroads of personal agency and systemic global forces, prompting ongoing discussion about its wider societal impact and ethical considerations for the future. Conclusion: the complex tapestry of global romance and discontent. In conclusion, the Passport Brothers movement presents a complex and often polarizing phenomenon that reflects shifting global dynamics in romance, work, and cultural interaction. It is characterized by men from Western countries seeking relationships abroad, driven by a cocktail of motivations including disillusionment with domestic dating scenes, a desire for traditional values, economic advantages, and for some, a more favorable racial climate. These men utilize their global mobility and the resources of the internet to pursue connections they feel are unavailable or unattainable in their home societies, creating a narrative of personal liberation and fulfillment for themselves. However, this pursuit is not without significant controversy and valid criticism. Allegations of sex tourism, the fetishization of women, potential exploitation stemming from economic disparities, and accusations of misogyny cast a dark shadow over the movement. These concerns highlight the ethical complexities that arise when individuals from wealthier nations seek partners in less developed regions, raising questions about power, consent, and the potential for perpetuating harmful stereotypes. The dangers are also real, as evidenced by warnings from official bodies about risks in certain popular destinations, reminding everyone that the quest for love can intersect with perilous realities. The role of social media in amplifying both the movement and its critiques cannot be overstated, creating a vibrant but often contentious public discourse. Simultaneously, broader sociological and economic factors such as global inequality, evolving concepts of masculinity, and the rise of digital nomadism provide the essential backdrop against which the Passport Brothers phenomenon unfolds. It is a deeply personal choice for the individuals involved, yet it has wider implications for cultural understanding, international relations, and the very nature of how relationships are formed in an increasingly interconnected and unequal world. Ultimately, the Passport Brothers movement is a multifaceted issue with no simple interpretations or judgments. It encapsulates a desire for connection and happiness that is universal, yet its methods and outcomes are subject to intense debate and scrutiny. As global interactions continue to evolve, phenomena like the Passport Brothers will likely persist and adapt, prompting an ongoing need for nuanced discussion, critical self-reflection from all involved, and a deeper understanding of the intricate tapestry of human relationships in the modern age. The conversation must continue, acknowledging both the aspirations of those seeking love and the critical concerns for dignity and equity. Thank you for watching Passport Brothers, Love or Controversy. If you found this video insightful, please like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more content on global trends and social movements, hit the notification bell. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious and informed.